very recently, I watched a podcast that had been uploaded to YouTube featuring Derren Brown and Richard Dawkins. And I laugh because he's got all the charm of having a cold fish shoved up your behind. But anyway, now it was an old podcast. I realise that. But it only been uploaded to YouTube on this particular channel in the last couple of weeks. So I know it's still floating around out there. Now, before I say anything else, I admire Derren Brown. He is a really intelligent guy. I mean, he is smart as a whip, as they say. He's beyond explanation, isn't he? He's a very clever guy. And not only that, he's a very talented artist. He's very charismatic. He can sometimes be a little bit of the smiling assassin, and I'm pretty sure he must have been called that before. But he's very charismatic indeed. Now, and I actually agree with quite a lot of what he says. But the point here is, once again, and we all know Derren Brown's stance on psychics. But the problem is the focus is constantly and continuously on one small faction of the psychic fraternity, which is the spiritualist mediums, the celebrity mediums, and the fortune tellers. They bang on about cold reading. That's something that is discussed an awful lot. And, people fishing for information. Now that absolutely does happen. That absolutely does happen. But I'm disappointed because he's such a smart guy that when I watched that podcast, I was hoping to hear something a bit more different. Not a bit more different. I was going to say a bit more intelligent, a bit different. And I'm not surprised really that towards the end of the video, Derren Brown, and I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not quoting, he said that having an open mind isn't, if that's not the thing, it's being able to have the information and act on it or respond to it. So my response to that would be then get more information, because there's this huge implication that everybody who works within the psychic arena is guilty of cold reading, of fishing for information, of making things up, of changing their minds. And it's not true. Now, also in my experience, men do this more than women do. And I'm not a man basher, but it is true that men do it more. If they want to diss my work, for example, psychic work, they will often use Derren Brown as proof, as in Derren Brown has proved that all psychics are fakes. Well, of course he hasn't, but it suits their agenda. So I have a bit of a rule of thumb with people. So if somebody is going to give me their opinion, the question is it an educated opinion based on genuine research and analysis, or is it just an opinion? And if it's just an opinion, who the hell cares? Now, as for Richard Dawkins, I don't know. I don't have anything to say on that subject. Anyway, towards the end of the video, Richard Dawkins asked Derren Brown where his beliefs came from, and he did explain it. Now, I'm putting a link to that video in the description, so if you want to watch it, well, you should watch it. If you're watching, if you're listening to this, excuse me, then you should watch it. I have hay fever and nasal allergies, which is why I always sound like I'm talking through my nose, because I am basically. But anyway, so where did his beliefs come from? Well, apparently when he was much younger, he had very strongly Christian beliefs. And then he went to university and he was mixing with other people with Christian beliefs. And then he started to train as a hypnotist. And a lot of people were aghast. They said it was the work of the devil, or along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. And so he really looked into his own Christian beliefs, and he kind of poked holes in them, if you like, as he would, because he's a smart guy. But then he discovered the tomfoolery, if you like, that's my word, that was going on, the shenanigans that was going on within the psychic arena. And he felt that he needed to stand against that the way others had stood against his beliefs. And I'm probably not explaining it very well, but you know, you can see that in the video. And I thought, wow, that's not a great explanation as for why you've taken this particular stance. But I understand. I find, you know, certain elements of the psychic arena incredibly annoying, and it really bugs me when I get tarred with the same brush. There were many years throughout my career where I actually felt embarrassed about what I did. I did. And I felt cowed by those who would use, you know, science. I no longer feel that way. I no longer feel that way. So, yeah, in a way, the crusade goes on, doesn't it? But then also, one other thing in this video that I must mention is there was this sneering at people who want to believe that their deceased loved ones can still be in touch with them. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, so say it wasn't true. Say when we're all dead, we're dead, and that's it. There is literally nothing, just oblivion. Okay, that potentially could be true. But just say it was. What do we expect a grief-stricken person to do with that information? So there must be some people, maybe like Richard Dawkins, who find a lot of comfort. If somebody in their life dies, well, that's it. They're gone forevermore, or men never see them again. It's all, that's it, dead, oblivion. But that's not true for most people. So even if it is all a load of rubbish, and I don't believe it is, but even if it is, why should a person be deprived of something that can help them to continue with their life? I don't know. And it got me thinking about my own beliefs as well. And I thought, you know, I've got an issue with certain factions of the psychic arena, as you know, you will have noticed. I don't understand the point in, you know, going to see somebody who's going to tell you all they're doing is picking up bits of information about your past, because to me, intuition is a tool to help us as we maneuver our way through life. So it's supposed to provide guidance. It's supposed to look at where we're at now. Okay, the past is a reference, but that's all it is. It's a reference to us because it's dead, it's gone. But we will use it as a reference. But the point of having an intuitive consultation, a psychic reading, is to be able to look at our life and gain insight into it and look at some of where we could go ahead. What do we need to do? What do we need to change? So I don't see the point in going to see somebody who goes, "Oh, you used to live in a house that had the number 6 on the front door." But some people like that. And who am I? Who am I to tell people that they can't enjoy that? Well, I can't, can I? All I'm asking is that I'm not lumped in with that section of the psychic arena, because it's not what I do. And I object to automatically being tarred with that brush. So if that's what people want and they're happy with that service and they're happy to pay for it, and it gives them some kind of comfort or entertainment or reassurance, whatever it is, then they should go for it. But we are not all the same. And when you listen to people like Derren Brown and Richard Dawkins, you will believe that we are. So anyway, I would appreciate it if you are still here, if you do like and subscribe. It would help. If you like what I do. If you don't like what I do, then you won't come back, will you?